Welcome everybody to this training video. My name is Scott McMillan, project lead for the IHSS Benchmark Dashboard. In this video, I'm going to show you how to upload your facilities data. In previous video, we showed you how to download the template and fill it out and what each of the 34 columns represent. Now that you have done that and you've completed and filled in as much of the information as you can for all of the facilities that you are going to be uploading, you are now ready to upload it and put it into the system. So you've registered under section 2B on the previous page. You will click on the upload button and that will bring you to this page here. This is just showing you very briefly that this is for the facility data. And at the top here, you'll notice that there are 4 steps involved, and we are in step 1, which is uploading. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to click on Browse Files. We're going to select our facility data for the year that we are currently working on, which of course represents the previous calendar year. And then down below here, you'll notice that the sheet name, it's indicating glossary. So because you're using the IHSS template, there are multiple tabs in that particular file. The first one being glossary, which is what the system is defaulting to. So we're going to want to change that. We're going to want to select the tab that actually contains the facility data. And in this sample one that I've uploaded, it's called facility data. If you're using the template, if you haven't renamed that tab specifically, then the default name for that tab is just called template. So you want to select the one that says template. But this is very handy because it gives you a preview feature. No matter what the tab is called, you'll know whether or not it's the correct tab that contains your data because it's going to show you a preview here with the data. And as we can see here, this is exactly the tab that I want. This is the tab that contains the data for the 3 facilities that I am uploading. So we're going to go ahead and hit continue to field mapping. And what the system did there very quickly is it's analyzing the file that we uploaded. It's looking at all of the column headings in that, and it's comparing it and trying to map it to the 34 columns that are required for the IHSS dashboard. On the left-hand side here is the source field names, meaning the name of the headers in our file that we uploaded. And we want to make sure that it maps to the corresponding correct column header in this column here called maps to. Now, because you're using the IHSS template, it should be a perfect one-to-one match for all 34 columns, but we just want to go through and make sure that they all align properly. So let's quickly go ahead and do that. So we've got year, facility name, country, state, province, density, business model, service type, healthcare facility type, inpatient beds, ED beds, behavioral ED beds, PEDS beds, interior space, property size, inpatient days, outpatient visits, ED visits, security hours, static post, ED security hours, weapons detection, canine, staffing model. Okay, so they all line up perfectly, as we do expect that they should, because we're using the IHSS template. Now, at this point, we can continue, and it will save these, but I'm going to go ahead and hit save just in case. You never know when you're going to get interrupted, and you might have to step away from your computer, and you'd hate to lose any of the work that you've done. So it's always a good idea and a good habit to hit the save mappings. But let's continue on. So this next mapping piece is just confirming that the columns in our data that have the drop downs. If you recall in the previous video where we showed you how to fill out the facility template, there were several columns that were highlighted yellow in that template. Those yellow columns represented ones that had built-in drop-down lists that you had to select from. So because those lists are static, we want to make sure that in our data, it lines up with what should be one of the options in those drop downs, which is why we're only seeing a few of these and not all 34 columns. And again, because you use the template, this should be a perfect match, but we just want to double check. On the right-hand side here, you'll notice it says values, one value. That simply means that despite having more than one facility in this file. In fact, there's 3 facilities that were included in this. They all come and represent the same country, which is why there's only one value, because the value doesn't represent how many rows or facilities, it represents how many unique labels within that column, in this case, country. So we just expand this. We can see here that in our data, it's United States of America, and it's suggesting that aligns with the United States of America. And at this point, we can confirm this specific one by clicking this box here, which is underneath this AI map confirmation. And as soon as I do that, you'll notice that a little button up here pops up saying confirm selected. I can go ahead and click this, and I can say, yes, I confirm that this is an accurate mapping, and it's now changed it to map. That's now saved, and I will never have to do that again every year moving forward. So I can do that for each one of these, or I can wait till the end, and if I'm satisfied with all of the suggestions, I can hit continue, and it will save those as well. So it's really up to you, but let's carry on here. So we've got Connecticut, population density. So in this case, there's 2 different values here, unique values, suburban and urban. One of our facilities is in a suburban area, and 2 of them are in an urban. Suburban to suburban, urban to urban, so that's correct. Business model, similarly, of our 3 facilities, 2 of them are private for profit, which perfectly matches private for profit, and 1 of them is publicly funded, which does correctly map to the publicly funded over here. Patient service type, we've got 2 of them that are both inpatient and outpatient. That maps correctly, outpatient only to outpatient only. Healthcare facility type. So we've got 3 unique facility types. One of them is an acute care for all ages, which properly matches to all ages over here. One of them is a women's and children's, which properly matches over here. And one of them is a freestanding emergency department, which is also lined up and matches over here. And then the last one's staffing model. Again, 3 different staffing models for each facility. We've got hybrid to hybrid, proprietary, sworn. So these are all perfectly matched, as we would expect. But we're going to go ahead and save the mappings. Those maps have been saved successfully, and now we're going to continue. And this is the final step. If I scroll to the top, you'll see that we're now on the 4th step. And this is just simply giving us a quick recap that we have 3 records representing 3 facilities, and that we have mapped 34 columns in the data set. And this gives us a preview of the actual data, so it's one last chance to just scroll and make sure that everything lines up properly. Now these numbers, of course, are arbitrary. This is test data, but in yours, they will have more meaning to you, so you'll be able to pick out if there's any oddities or misalignments here. But if you're happy, then you can go ahead and hit submit data. It's going to give us one last confirmation indicating, again, 3 records, 3 facilities. This is the facility data that we are working on. And this little comment down here is simply telling us that once we hit confirm and submit, we cannot go back and make any changes. But having gone through that, I'm happy with the data. It's correct. And I'm going to go ahead and confirm and submit. And I have successfully submitted. Congratulations. If you are receiving this message after having done and uploaded your facility data, you are finished for this year. And the good news is, next year, it'll be even easier because most of the information, that those 34 columns, will not change from one year to the next. So it's going to be even easier. So you have that to look forward to. And I'll stop right there. And on behalf of the IHSS, I want to thank you very much for participating in the IHSS dashboard. We appreciate it, and we hope you'll carry on next year. Thank you.